I'm Michelle Reeb, the Global Customer References Manager at NetApp, and I'm here today with Andrew Sjoquist, the founder of Fluid. Welcome, Andrew.
G'day, Michelle from Sydney, Australia.
Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Well, I'd love to have you tell us a little bit about Fluid. Who is Fluid and what do you do for your customers?
Thanks, Michelle, and thanks for having us today. Fluid is an orchestration and automation platform that enables customers to deploy cloud-like infrastructure anywhere. It deploys cloud-like networks and compute stacks on bare metal hardware in a matter of minutes, whether that's on-premise, at the edge, or in a co-located facility, and brings the magic of cloud that we've all come to know and love over the last little while back to anywhere where the customer chooses to deploy that. We've been working hard with NetApp over the last little while to do an integration with NetApp Cloud Manager, and we're delighted to launch this week the integration with Cloud Manager. It's the very first third-party integration that allows customers to take advantage of the power of Fluid in deploying cloud-like architectures anywhere in a matter of minutes, and then manage those infrastructures all from within the NetApp Cloud Manager console.
Well, that's fantastic. And, we've talked about how Fluid is the answer to hybrid cloud. And I'd love to learn a little bit more about what you're doing for some of your customers by diving into a specific customer story and the solutions that you're offering for them.
Fantastic. Thanks, Michelle. Well, I'd like today to talk a little bit about one of our customers who's leveraged Fluid to be able to make the multi-cloud hybrid cloud story ring true for them. And that customer is a fintech organization out of Australia called Ezypay. Ezypay is a multi-award-winning subscription payments platform that operates right across the Asia region. They process transactions of around $6 billion for their customers in around 9 countries. And so what we were able to do with Fluid, working side by side with their in-house teams, was retire their legacy infrastructure and migrate the workloads that were still remaining from a previous migration into AWS across onto Fluid. And so what that allowed them to do was basically turn off existing legacy VMware environments and legacy IBM SANs, and really treat their data then as an asset, not only to continue to serve the virtual machine applications that they operate, but also to start to modernize or continue to modernize applications into container type architectures. And so by liberating the data into a NetApp Data Fabric architecture, what they've been able to do is to ensure that the data is protected, leveraging technologies such as SnapMirror between data centers, flex clones to bring production data sets to the hands of their application development teams, and basically set them on a journey that means that legacy infrastructure and the legacy VMs that they've been operating can now be orchestrated and operated just like containers. And so Fluid, with its use of Kubernetes as an orchestrator, and also with its native deployment of the NetApp Trident CSI, means that that whole hybrid cloud story of having some workloads running in AWS and some workloads still running outside of that public cloud environment is really easy to manage. And again, that's helped by the fact that they can see both those environments as well as manage and configure the network between them, all from within the NetApp Cloud Manager console.
Well, that sounds great and pretty easy to manage. So for Ezypay, how does it work for them? I'd love to understand a little bit more about their digital transformation journey, particularly where they've been, where they're at today, and then where they're going.
Yeah, so Ezypay, leveraging Fluid, has allowed basically for their data story to progress. So by being able to, as I mentioned before, liberate their data, the access to information has become easier for their development teams, meaning that they can no longer need to manage and maintain legacy VMs and architecture that is difficult to get into an agile CI/CD type pipeline, and focus more so around the application benefits and features for their customers, knowing that Fluid is dealing with the infrastructure intricacies and complexity. Effectively, what we've created here is the easy button for infrastructure that lives outside of the cloud. And again, we see the benefits for Ezypay, and Ezypay see the benefits as well in being able to have that single pane of glass. Next steps will be to continue that data integration across clouds. So their initial migration to AWS was done some time ago. And with the recent announcement from NetApp in relation to the FSx ONTAP products within AWS, the data fabric story will continue. So we'll have the ability to not only protect by snap, mirror, and flex clones, as I've touched on before, but we'll also be able to mirror in and out of AWS environments and leverage the power of the FSx ONTAP platform inside of AWS to support those workloads too. So really what it's meaning is that the data has a single home, and it has a place that it can be looked after and managed. And regardless of where it actually physically resides, whether that be a public cloud or this private cloud architecture that's managed and runs on Fluid, the data can be treated in the same way, and therefore the agility of the application and development teams can accelerate because they're not having to worry about where or on what infrastructure their application and workload is actually going to run on.
Sounds seamless, which is great. And so what kind of results are you achieving so far with Ezypay?
Yeah, so what we've found from an Ezypay perspective is, again, the ability to manage the data protection elements has just become an inherent way of life, if you like, for the data. Because the data resides in ONTAP, that's a very simple and straightforward process now to be able to drive policy onto data storage in order to protect it to an appropriate level. Other benefits has meant that we are able to run both VMs and containers side by side. So there's no longer necessarily a need for a big decision on whether or not something should run as a container or as a VM. What we're finding is that we've basically created a pathway now in Fluid for that transition from VMs into containers. They can continue to run the VMs as they have been for years and years and years. But then also now start to push particular parts of the application and workload out into containers and have them running side by side. The other benefit here, of course, is that because they have a seamless bridge between AWS and this location, the choice of where they run workloads is now a little bit simpler as well. So we expect that there'll be a drive towards some efficiencies from a cost efficiencies perspective, but also operational and performance efficiencies. And we can help with that a little bit further too, because Fluid out of the box comes with the NetApp Spot controllers deployed under the hood. So what that basically means is that if anyone who's familiar with Spot, and in particular the Ocean product of Spot, it means that this on-premise Fluid cluster that's running in a co-located facility can now be seen side by side in the same pane of glass inside of Spot as their AWS environment. And so we are now truly talking about a hybrid multi-cloud story that means that the infrastructure location and the complexity really just fades away into the background, and the focus can come back on Ezypay's customers and building features and enhancements to the platform that really service them rather than utilizing resources just to keep the lights on.
Well, that's great. And you know, as you're talking, and we've talked before about the easy buttons, you know, that you're able to offer through Fluid. What would you say are the most powerful, simple, easy buttons that you have to offer to your customers?
Yeah, easy buttons, it's a great term. And I guess like our great customer's name, Ezypay, an easy button in Fluid basically allows us to do a couple of things. And we have several of them. Couple in particular that we can touch on today, an easy button for connecting to AWS. So the whole process of connecting that Fluid environment, regardless of where it resides, to AWS is able to be achieved literally with a click of an easy button. Takes about a minute, and the networking stack is configured both on the on-premise hardware side, all the way from the server hardware through the network switching hardware, across a Elastic Cloud Connect provider or a VPN tunnel, to the AWS stack, and then all that side of the networking component or networking elements are configured as well. So that easy button basically takes care of probably at least a dozen steps that often takes teams or different teams of people within inside of an organization days or weeks to get turned up, and that's all done within about a minute. So that's a great easy button. Another easy button from our perspective is also, or more easy buttons that present now more integrations with NetApp technology. So I've mentioned already that out of the box we come pre-integrated with Trident. So the NetApp Trident CSI plugin for Kubernetes basically simplifies the stand-up of volumes on a NetApp ONTAP system. So we're able to really simply deploy a VM or a container in Fluid and have the persistent volume in the background automatically provisioned and ready for use again in under a minute. So that's a great leveraging of some fantastic NetApp ingenuity that exists within Trident. And again, the spot controller that I mentioned before. So an easy button to deploy the spot controller means that the power of Spot can be realized on-premise inside of Fluid as well. We've got other easy buttons planned, and we plan to continue to roll out various elements. We're working closely with the NetApp Astra team around deploying some exciting new technology that's coming soon to NetApp. And we can talk about that maybe next time we catch up. But yeah, we've certainly got a fantastic roadmap planned. And basically, at the end of the day, our goal here is to make that infrastructure easy. And so this collection of easy buttons that exist within Fluid really means that the complexity that has previously existed in standing up compute and network and storage and all these various configuration complexities that occur within data centers now becomes cloud-like. And so we've leveraged and brought into the team some of the very best minds from the industry, including from the cloud providers themselves. And so basically customers now with Fluid are able to deploy clouds just like the cloud providers do, but still have a choice of where they deploy that and not be restricted to a certain region or a certain location. So we anticipate that that'll continue to grow in terms of what we're able to do. But also we are very aware that from an integration perspective, we have a very particular purpose in terms of what we do, and that's to simplify the deployment of infrastructure and the management of infrastructure. We then seek to hand off to the very best tools in the industry to do what they're good at as well. And that's why you see things like the Spot controller being deployed as an easy button. We also have a very simple way to just download the kubeconfig files from the NetApp Cloud Manager. What that means basically is that if you've got a particular tool of choice that you like to manage your Kubernetes infrastructure with, whether that's OpenShift or Rancher or kubectl or any other tool that's out in the marketplace, rather than reinvent the wheel, so to speak, we've basically just made a handoff point so that those tools can be used with Fluid as well. So we're not looking to replace a management tool that is a favorite. We're basically looking to fill the gap between the bare metal hardware that comes out of the box on day zero and get customers up and running and with the magic that Fluid can bring in a very short space of time. In fact, most of our deployments can go from boxed in the cardboard to full stack running in under an hour.
Wow, that's impressive, Andrew. I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story with us today. If you want to learn more about working with Fluid and what they can do for you, please sign up for our VIP program so you can talk with Andrew directly. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Michelle. I'm looking forward to chatting to people on the VIP program, or you can also visit us at fluidhq.io.
Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. Have a great day.